What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to r/AskReddit with my terrible artwork, where today a kamikaze gopher causes thousands of dollars in property damage. Okay, so the AskReddit question was, Firefighters of Reddit, what's the dumbest person you had to save in a stupid situation? Austin, Texas, circa 1990. A little girl needs to use the toilet. She locks the door, manages to get onto the toilet, and use it all by herself. She's a big girl after all. But the toilet is tall and getting down is scary. Better wait for mom to come help. Except she can't get in, because the little idiot locked the door and is too scared of the 5 inches from her feet to the floor, and so just sits there crying while sitting on the toilet. The firemen break down the door and the little girl is saved. Holy crap, I was a stupid kid. What bathroom doesn't have one of those simplistic locks? Every bathroom I've ever had growing up had one of those little just push pins that, it was barely even a lock. And you always had the little thing right on the door frame to get into it. That's the most intense bathroom security I've ever heard of. That's funny and cute and facepalm worthy at the same time, though. A motorist had a bad alternator and the car died while she/he was driving. The electric lock control stopped working. We were dispatched for a person trapped in a motor vehicle. On arrival, the advice was given to manually lift the lock knob. You can easily tell the ones who will not survive the first 24 hours of the zombie apocalypse. You know, honestly, that reminds me of this one time I had a friend that I grew up with post on Facebook about how she was stuck on an escalator for hours. And I remember commenting and just being like, thank you. Thank you so much. I've always had a life goal of contributing on a thread like this. And so many other people were saying similar things or just being like, are you serious? And she wasn't grasping it. And eventually her husband had to come on and was just like, guys, everyone, please back off. My wife is special. And we'll just leave it at that. Because, I mean, the escalator broke down. It's just moving stairs. Oh. Man, I haven't thought about that in years. Years ago, we had this call straight out of Caddyshack. Some guy had gotten tired of this gopher ruining his yard. Little did he know he was facing the Sun Tzu of gophers. The homeowner, dwelling upon his experience from Vietnam, decided that the best way to deal with this gopher was to treat the situation like a Viet Cong tunnel. In lieu of a frag grenade, he poured a 5-gallon can of gasoline down the gopher hole, waited with a varmint gun, and lit it off. The ensuing explosion caused a small crater to form in his yard. I am still thoroughly impressed that there was a proper fuel-to-air ratio in the network of tunnels that allowed for such an explosion to happen. However, the gopher refused to surrender without a fight. The gopher ran out of the hole, engulfed in flames, causing the guy's yard to catch on fire. The gopher then sprinted into the guy's shed, still on fire, and burrowed into a void space in the wall where he died. Like the martyr perk from Modern Warfare, his still flaming remains set the inside of the wall on fire, as well as several flammables. In the end, the guy's backyard was ruined and about a quarter of his shed burned down, taking out a bunch of power tools and a zero-turn mower. He definitely would have saved a few $1,000s if he had just hired an exterminator. The image of the Sun Tzu of gophers was just so hilarious to me, and I actually really tried to make that gopher look like a Chinese warrior. I mean, still though, on a long list of bad ideas of how to get rid of gophers, this is up there. How do you explain that to insurance, though? Seriously, how do you talk to your homeowner's insurance agent and explain that you tried to kill a gopher by pouring gasoline down the gopher hole? I mean, there's no way a policy covers that. I could just see that becoming the next thing in a farmer's insurance commercial. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. I was a volunteer firefighter many years back. One summer, after a long period of no rain, two good old boys decided to have a few dozen beers and take their Jeep into a nearby field to go off-roading. Well, approximately 2-foot tall corn stalks that are bone dry wind up getting jammed into the undercarriage, which, on a 90-plus degree day, turns out to be hot enough to ignite a fire. The owner of the field sees the situation unfolding from their house and calls for fire and police. Given the proximity to my location, I go directly to the scene after hearing the page go out and see these two idiots trying to drive the Jeep faster and faster to put the fire out. Eventually, the engine gives out, but they won't leave the car. I physically had to reach in, burning my arms in the process, since I didn't respond to the station first to get my turnout gear, and pull them out. Somehow, they decided that remaining in the car would slow down the flames. And because they thought it was a good idea to continue driving a burning vehicle around a dry field, we now have a significant brush fire and have to call mutual aid from another county to help douse the flames. State police get involved, I have a nice trip to the hospital, and these idiots lose their Jeep and the remainder of their booze. That is some real drunk logic there. Oh, let's just drive faster to put the flames out when we're in a dry cornfield to begin with. Don't drink and drive, kids. You end up like these idiots. Obligatory, not a fireman, but they were most definitely involved. I used to work in a New York City public grammar school over the summers to pay for college back in the 90s. One of the full-time employees was a nice guy, but stupid. And I don't mean he was slow or anything, he just did dumb crap because he was careless. One time, he loaded up a trailer with like 25 gallons of gas and was driving it back through the main school parking lot. He didn't realize that the container cracked open and spilled all 25 gallons in the parking lot. He didn't want to get in trouble, so he thought the best way to get rid of the evidence was to set the gas on fire. He didn't realize that burning gas gives off a lot of black smoke, and a gigantic cloud of black smoke coming from a school generally attracts a lot of attention from first responders. Panicking, he tries to put the flaming lake of gas out by driving over it with his car. The fire department gets there, screaming at him to stop driving his car through flaming gasoline. They finally get the fire out and just screamed at this guy for like 25 minutes. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. How does a guy like that get a job involving children in any sort of capacity? I mean, at least he's not a child molester, yes, but like this level of idiocy is putting kids at very significant risk. I mean, this is not the kind of guy you want to have around kids. I'm going to tell you that right now. He is definitely not the guy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a pretty dumb person in a very stupid situation. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want a playlist of a few more funny AskReddit videos, then go ahead and click the link here. Or if you want to see more badly drawn Reddit, go ahead and click the link here. Now you guys stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all on Wednesday. Until then, stay beautiful, people.